your voice of the valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turner Blavis here, hanging out on a Friday afternoon, and you know what time it is. Time for our Snap Spotlight, brought to you by Snap Fitness in Wahpeton, locally owned and operated in Wahpeton. Make sure to call them if you're looking for a membership. And joining me today, we got assistant coach of the NDSCS men's basketball team, Gach, also an NDSCS alum. How's it going today, Gach?
It's going pretty good.
And you guys had a fantastic season. 31-2 ended up being your record. I think that was the same record you guys did your sophomore year. Think you guys could have taken them?
I always will back up my team that we can take anybody. Obviously, the team right now, they still don't believe it that I can get out there in the court with my team, but I think we could take this team.
I think if we had a time machine, if you got you in your prime, I think you'd be all right.
Oh, for sure.
And so what do you think is going to be the takeaway from this squad? Particularly, I always love looking back on the seasons. We were talking before we got started here, the stuff we remember from all the seasons ago. What do you think is going to be the thing that stands out from this crew?
With this crew, it's probably the brotherhood. These guys, the way they play together, the team chemistry that they had on a day-to-day impact was wonderful to see. Obviously, with teams like that, you don't see many teams go on, I believe it was a 27-game winning streak. And for those guys to accomplish that was amazing to see, and it was just a sight to watch.
And I brought in a few of the guys for interviews, and I kind of got that impression from them, the stuff I've heard. I had Peyton Newbern on last year. Aaron Williams and Calvin Sisk came in, and they had said they had nothing but great things to say about their teammates, their roles within the team, and it just seems like you guys just recruited, over the last few years, just recruited a great nucleus of guys to build around. Yeah,
for sure. We brought in a bunch of guys. Obviously, when you play JUCO basketball, personalities can become a little thing. You want to bring in the right type of kids and guys that are good in the classroom, guys that are good on the court and in the community as well. And the guys we brought in this year, obviously, there was a lot of sophomores for us. We brought in a bunch of transfers, some guys that were older guys, experienced playing college basketball. That just flowed right over to the team that, they provided a boost to the younger guys that are just experiencing playing college sports. It just elevated the team, which all the younger guys looked up to those older guys, and those older guys just led the way and kept it going all year long.
Gotcha. And how many years have you been on Stu's staff?
Stu's staff, this was my third year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you think it's is it hard to pick out, like, what do you think is the best of the three of them?
Oh, it is definitely hard to pick out.
Well, the thing is, you guys set the bar so high every year, so it's hard, to measure it up against each other. You kind of just consistently at the top.
Correct. It's always tough to measure, especially right after we just ended our season. Yeah. With all those teams, we obviously had tremendous players. A lot of guys like Hari Broadway and Connor Hollenbeck, guys that playing at Minot State, and other guys like that. It's tough to compare Noah Christensen here in the last couple of years, Agua Nywish, obviously Peyton Newbern. So we definitely had a bunch of guys, different playing styles. This year was a little different than normal. In the past, we've got guys that can light it up as a whole team, collective unit. So obviously all those teams are great. But comparing teams, for me, I'll probably think about that later in May or something when I got more time to reflect on that. But overall, all those teams are great.
Gotcha. Let's jump back to the beginning. And is Stu the one who mainly handled your recruiting process before you came to NDSCS, or was it one of the assistant coaches that you kind of clicked with and were like, this is the right school for me?
It was both of them. Obviously, Stu came down to Austin, Minnesota a bunch of times to recruit me. Same with Jason Burr, who was assistant here at the time. Obviously, I had a bunch of offers within this conference and all over the country. And with Stu, he just kept coming back, doing school visits on a random Tuesday, and then coming back later that week to watch me play. For that was big for me. It actually showed that he cared about me. He wanted the best for me, and ultimately that's what led me to come to NDSCS.
Yeah, do you think at the time he was like, this kid could be a coach someday, or were you quite a bit different back then, you think?
I was quite a bit different. When I played on the court, I had a lot of passion. I compared myself to Kevin Garnett a lot.
There you go.
That fire in my belly, and I just wanted to destroy anybody that was in my way. And for me, I didn't think coaching was my path. Obviously, Stu gave me that chance to coach after I got done playing when I got back from Armenia. If you want to try it out for a year, we'll give it a test and go from there. And probably 5 minutes in, this is for me.
Oh, awesome.
And I've been doing it since.
Oh, gotcha. And then I remember your first year playing with the Wildcats back in 2016. You came off the bench and really set yourself apart with your defense. Actually, that ended up being a historic team because the Wildcats haven't been back to the NJCAA National Tournament since you guys did it your freshman year. What is the big thing that you look back on from that season? And is it the big run to the tournament, or it was? I remember you guys also overcame a lot of adversity after a couple losses right before the Christmas break, and you guys really turned it around and just caught fire.
Correct. I would say it would be the adversity. Obviously, that team, I believe we lost 7 games on that year. There was a lot of ups and downs.
It's a lot for around here, for the program.
That was a lot of ups and downs. We would play great, and at those times we were playing teams like Northeast and teams like that, and then we'd go down to Iowa. We drop 1 here and there, and then after Christmas break, we dropped 2 back-to-back. Actually, I think it was 3 straight because we went out to Dawson and Laos, I believe. And then we just came together as a team, collective unit after that Dawson game, and then we just pretty much ran the table right after that.
I remember talking to Stu after one of the games, and I was my first year on the beat, so I didn't really have like a full feel for how all of this worked out, like the lay of the land and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why. Stu seems a little worried about this. And then we talked about the end of the year. He was like, I was worried about it. I didn't know what was going to end up happening. But like you said, you guys really brought it together and really just clicked at the right time of year. And then jumping into your sophomore, you guys were just loaded. And you had as big of a leap as I've seen from a freshman to a sophomore campaign. You went from a guy who's coming off the bench, bringing some great 3-and-D energy, especially on the D, to being second in the country in three-pointers made, knocking down 4 threes a game, which is just absurd. Tell me a little bit about what went into that off season.
Into that off season, I wouldn't say a lot went into it. Obviously, my freshman year, I knew I could score, but at that time, that wasn't my role. I embraced my role, and coach told me if we want to be a really good team, I got to play defense and provide that spark off the bench. Obviously, my freshman year team, we were deep. We had Milos coming off the bench as well, Gach coming off the bench. So we brought a lot of firepower off that bench. That second year, obviously, I was a sophomore then, being a captain, and my role expanded. Coach needed me to score more and be a little bit more aggressive with my game, and pretty much that's just what I did. And it worked out for us in the end.
Oh, I remember you having some wild times when you caught fire, and it was just like you just couldn't miss. It was like an ocean for you. And then it must have been a lot of fun to also get to see Duth do that in a Wildcat uniform as well. Your younger brother, Duth Gach, suiting up and ended up surpassing you in career threes, if you remember that. Did it twice, I like to joke, because there was a miscalculation the first time he broke the record. A little bit about how fun it was to get to see Duth come here and have success just like you did.
Oh, it was amazing to watch him come here and come out of his shell and progress as a basketball player. Obviously, with me, there was no other choice for him where he was going. He said, "I'm going JUCO." I was like, "Well, you're going to NDSCS." There's no ifs and buts about that. His career here was pretty great, 2-time All-American. So I enjoyed watching him excel on that level. And then breaking my record, that was a sight to see. I was actually here, and when they announced that, and I told Stu that he did not break my record. He's still a couple short, and then ended up breaking it the next game. So that was a sight to see.
And we're not putting that on Stu, though. That was a Jordan Burton clerical error. I'm pretty sure if JB ever comes across this. But a little bit about, also, I will throw it in there. Duth had one of the craziest in-person dunks I ever saw in my life. We were just talking before we went on here that I saw a dunk at the Timberwolves game that I was like, that's probably now number 1 for greatest in-game dunk. Before that, it was Duth. He had a crazy one that I remember. I was sending videos to my buddies of it. I was just like, oh. But anyways, back to you. We're going to jump into your time at West Texas A&M. Went to a Division II powerhouse. Ended up helping them to the Final Four your first year. And then the second year, you guys went to the Elite Eight. What was it like to be part of a winning culture, all 4 years of college, and then even just that tournament run? I need to hear about those.
Wow. Those tournament runs were amazing. After the teams we had at West Texas, I'm going to backdate a little bit. The reason why I went to West Texas, Tom Brown, he used to coach at Winona State. They'd watch me play a bunch in high school, and I'd actually had an offer from West Texas A&M in high school. So instead of going right to West Texas out of high school, I decided to come to science. And when my sophomore year came, they came back around and offered me again, and I was like, oh, it's Texas. I've been in North Dakota for the last 2 years, freezing my butt off. I'm going to go down south where it's warm.
It's like a vacation.
It was a vacation for me, and I enjoyed it, and I wanted to get out of the snow for a little bit, and that's where I went. And obviously it was one of the best decisions I've made in my career. going down there, playing for two coaches that have Minnesota ties, winning championships at Winona State. But winning or playing in those Final Fours and Elite Eights, that level doesn't get any higher than that. Playing in front of big crowds, and first year was in Sioux Falls, the second year was in Evansville, Indiana, which was awesome for me because I got my family to come down and watch me play in Sioux Falls in a Final Four game. So that was obviously one of my highlights of my career. But overall, those teams like here were stacked. Obviously, I wish I would have played in 4 national tournaments. I missed one with my sophomore year, ending that season 31-2, like our current team. But 3 out of 4 national tournaments isn't bad. I reflect on that a lot. I tell our guys that as well. Like, if you get there, it's going to open a lot of things up for you. It's going to be a great time. The experience, not many people get experience playing at that level, and that's what we play for.
I remember when you got the offer, or when you decided to go there, because I was you still working at the Daily News covering you, and you knew this was going to be a program where it was like, I'm going to plug and play right away, and they were a winning team already. I don't know if they were making runs like that, though. I'm not sure. What was the history going into it? Were they a team that made the tournament, or were they expecting to get to a Final Four?
Well, the year before I got there, they lost in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
So in the regional. When coach was recruiting me, he told me if I came down, we would have a chance to win a national title.
Hard to pass that up.
For sure. Definitely hard to pass that up, especially with the guys they brought back. They pretty much brought back everybody that was lost in that Sweet 16 game. So when coach brought that to me and went down on my visit, I loved it. It was amazing. And connecting with the players there during my visit and talking to them as well, just picked up the vibe right away. We built a connection, and with that, I couldn't say no.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like what your career college record would be. It's probably like 115 or something like that. To like, I don't know, like maybe
it might be more than that.
Maybe like 20, not even.
Because with my time at West Texas, we broke the school records for wins back-to-back years with going to the Final Four in the Elite Eight. So
I was gonna say there probably weren't a lot of opportunities you could go somewhere and you'd actually have a better win percentage than you had the year before, but you figured out a way to basically do it.
Correct. That's always the goal. You want to be the first to do something, or first to break records, and just win. Ultimately, win every game that you possibly can. And for me, even throughout high school, that's just how it's been, playing in high school state championships as well, and it just led throughout my whole career.
Gotcha. And you ended up going overseas for a bit as well?
I went to Armenia for a little bit,
just
on a tour in the height of COVID.
Not ideal.
So not ideal. In a sense, ended my career a little earlier than I wanted to, but at the same time, I saw it as a blessing. And then I got an opportunity with Stu to give me my first coaching job, and there's times I want to get out of it and go back to playing basketball, that drive, because I see a lot of things our players do, and I'm like, I can still do that. But for me, coaching the next generation of student athletes is my new pride and joy. Something I really enjoy, and something I have a passion for.
I always end up talking to a lot of people about this, but how exciting is it to just kind of see the game just change right in front of you without even like really noticing it? Like, think how different it is played from like maybe when you were growing up and you first picked up a basketball to compared to now, and the skill set that these guys have, the size of some of these guys who have incredible dribbling packages. How fun is that to see, and what are you excited about for going forward? Are you hoping to see another jump going forward, I guess, for basketball?
I think there will be another jump going forward, and obviously it's exciting to see the game evolve that fast. Obviously, if you watched our game this year, we had a 7'2" player in Calvin who can run like a deer up and down, which you don't see a lot with the 7'2" guys that are that mobile, can get up the court and get off their feet and block shots and move that well. And when you look at all the way up to the Division I level, there's guys that are 6'9", 6'10" that are pretty much guards. So the game of basketball is just evolving. It's a lot different from, I think, when I played, because it was traditional basketball where you had a 5 and a 4 two post players on the court and ball screen action, pick and roll. Now it's more spread out. A lot of threes are going up, but at the same time, it's good to see. It's good for basketball. We'll just have to see. And where it goes from there.
Yeah, I was talking to the Breckenridge girls basketball coach, Tony Bogenreef, and we were talking about, I was like, some of the moves I'm seeing when you tell me you have a 7th grader who comes off the bench that can hit a Euro into one of these, like, and I'm just like, that's just mind-boggling to me. I just can't even rack my brain around it. So that's stuff that's really exciting to me. So that's why I ask everybody about it. And now that you are working here in Wahpeton and obviously helping coach out the team, I joke that everybody knows Gach. Everybody in town knows Gach, and I mean everybody. I got my parents walking up to me. Gach was having a fun time at the wedding. You know, it looks like. And what's that experience been like as far as getting acclimated to the community?
Oh, it's been fun. Actually, I met a lot of people, and a lot of people have watched me play basketball in my time here in Wahpeton, and just being in this community, they've always supported me and brought me in with open arms. So just being out in the community and talking to people, it's always been a joy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not everywhere you go, the community brings you in like that, and for the community of Wahpeton, Breck, to bring me in like that, and it's been a pleasure.
We just are hoping that you stick around here and like give us a bunch of more gotchas. You know, that's what we're banking on here. We need some dudes, some boots. You know.
Some more Gach family ties.
Exactly. Well, but we're going to take the next step, like we're talking about. Basketball is going to jump forward. The Gach family, it's going to be perfect. So I appreciate you coming on, talking hoops, and congratulations on another fine season, Gach.
I appreciate it.
Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wahpeton, wants to have you join their workout family. Snap offers personal training, and owner Renata Fa will even write up workout plans for you. If you're an athlete in the Twin Towns, Snap Fitness will help you make sure you're prepared for the upcoming sports season. To all the retired athletes over 65, Snap Fitness participates in the Silver Sneakers Insurance Program, and most major insurances reimburse for memberships to Snap. Stop by Snap Fitness today and ask about their membership packages. They're located at 102 7th Street South in Wahpeton.